The world is a bitter, unfair place. Even the land of enlightenment itself, India, the birthplace of the progenitors of both Buddhism and Hinduism, is no exception. And none knew this fact better than those at the lowest rungs of society. Traditionally, Indians were partitioned into a caste system, with Brahmins, the priests, at the top, followed by the Kshatriyas, the warriors, and the Vaishyas, the farmers, and finally by the Shudras, the workers. But in the shadows beneath this rigid hierarchy existed another caste, considered so lowly they are unworthy of even being mentioned in the official rankings. They are the Dalit, the untouchables. It was into one of these untouchable families that Dashrath Manjhi was born in 1929 in Galar village of Bihar province. At a young age, Manjhi ran away from home to work at a nearby coal mine. After a few years, he finally returned home, marrying Faguni Devi, a woman who he had fallen deeply in love with. Life as an untouchable in rural India was difficult. Manjhi made a humble living as an agricultural labourer, and his wife earnestly took care of him and his needs. She would often bring food and drink to Manjhi, and it was on one of these trips that in 1959 tragedy struck. Devi had fallen whilst passing through a rocky ridge and had become heavily injured. After Manjhi had learned of this, he immediately sought for medical aid for his wife. The issue was, however, that in his village there was not a single doctor. The nearest doctor was over 55 kilometers away in a neighbouring town. In truth, the distance between them was not so large. The direct distance was less than a third of this, but it just so happened that between them stood an unscalable mountain. They would have to take a huge detour, and by then it would be far too late. Helpless, Manjhi could do nothing but feed into his own despair as the love of his life drew her final breaths. When the heavens willed that he was to be an untouchable, he was helpless against it. And now the heavens again placed upon him an insurmountable tribulation, in the form of a great mountain. Now he was helpless, again. It would appear that he had been sick since the moment that he was born, afflicted with the illness called fate. But it is often said that heroes are born in times of hardship and tribulation. Manjhi's despair was overwhelming, but he would not lose himself inside of it. In that moment, he made an oath. He was not going to let her die in vain. If fate itself casted a mountain before him, then he would struggle with all his might to forge a path through that mountain, even if he needed to chisel away at it stone by stone. Devi's fate could no longer be changed, but he could yet change the fates of many to come. In the beginning, he was ridiculed. His fellow villagers believed, with good reason, that his mission was a hopeless one. The government had already ignored his petitions for a new pathway to be forged. But through endless jeers he persevered. Through day and night he toiled. Eventually the villagers started to give him their support. They made arrangements to make him lunch and snacks, and many offered their own tools to assist Manjhi on his mission. The villagers eventually came to wholeheartedly respect Dashrath, dubbing him the Mountain Man. Finally, after 22 years of arduous labour, he had finally completed the pathway. Its length was unassuming, being just over 100 meters, but the great rock walls to either side served as a testament to the great feat that he had accomplished. Never again would a villager have to suffer as his wife did all those years ago. His acts did not go unnoticed. In the subsequent years, he would receive national acclaim. In 2016, he received his own commemorative postage stamp. Finally, in 2007, Dashrath Manjhi passed away. Though he is no longer of this world, the countless denizens of Galar village are reminded of him every single time they walk upon Dashrath Manjhi Road. They are reminded not of a Dalit, an untouchable, but of Dashrath Manjhi, a man whose actions touched 1 billion hearts.